done so well for him. Maokai also taken away by Fnatic here, so obviously not planning on having that. Know that Xaxus would quite happily take it. On the other side, it's fairly standard, I would say, in this one. The fact that Kassadin, of course, red side ban, standard stuff. Orianna, we already mentioned, week 7. Peke farmed all day long, got that 300 CS record, and he's not the first person with Orianna to do that against Overpower, so they obviously don't want that style creeping through today.
And it is a champion Rocket plays themselves, but they often actually end up banning it just because it is so strong in the laning phase, and Overpower is a very passive laner, so you don't want to have this farm machine champion who can just get completely out of hand. And that's not Morgana. What's going on here?
Well, it's not Morgana, it's in fact Nami here as the first pick in for Fnatic, so wasn't expecting that, I have to say. Nami first pick, funnily enough, we saw that yesterday, a first pick Nami, and you were like, wow, not seen a first pick Nami for a long time. Funnily enough, first pick in the semi-finals.
So that really shows to me Fnatic want to go for some strong laners here, because Nami is one of the best, if not the best support in standard 2v2 lanes, where you could take a Morgana who could roam around instead if you want to do lane swap. So this really signals to me that Fnatic could be looking for some strong 2v2 and one-on-one laners here and simply just try and beat Rocket in the standard laning phase. The Elise ban I really like as well from Fnatic, because that was the champion Jankos used to fast push these towers, which was the tactic I talked about Rocket could use against Fnatic, where you kind of dodge around the D-boards because you just walk straight into the lane anyway and push the tower. Now being banned away, of course. Could also destroy Rocket's tactic just a little bit, but Kha'Zix is one of the junglers you can do it to on, or you can also do it on, because you have this long-range poke. You can poke them out of the lane, and then as soon as they go recall, you go and take the tower.
So first picks then for Roccat, taking the AD carry, and Kha'Zix here by the looks of it for Jankos. And Kog'Maw was the big champion really when it came to the quarter-final games for Celaver. Ended up with a 14 KDA with that champion. A good pick for him.
Yeah, it was open the first 2 games against Subaru. He picked it both games, and he just carried them. Then it was banned by Subaru the remaining time of the quarterfinals because they had to respect this pick here from Celaver. And Rocket as well is a team who's not afraid to early and blind pick the AD carry. They trust so much in Celaver and his laning phase, which is actually very strong. He's one of the best AD carries in terms of pure laning, of getting like the average CS at 10 minutes and also denying farm from the enemy AD carry. He's one of the best. Of course, there's also a lot of credit to Vander, who's a great support in the lane. But they're not afraid to early pick these AD carries here.
On the other side for Fnatic, Cyanide, his old trusty champion, Jarvan, stole many a dragon and baron with Jarvan. And we also see Syndra coming through. Funnily enough, you aim 3 bans at Xpeke, and he still somehow gets on Syndra, which is one of his best.
Yeah, and champion we've seen him play 4 times in the LCS. Been some good performance, but also had some shaky ones. It's very hard in teamfights to position yourself correctly on Syndra here. But once again, Fnatic follow the trend now. Strong laners. What is Syndra? She's a lane bully. She's supposed to win her lane matchup one-on-one here. So once again, Fnatic here, aggressive early jungler who can set up a lot of ganks. Strong laners already. And the Jarvan is of course a response also to Rocket early picking an AD carry without a jump, because is your flash gone? Well, Jarvan is going to get to you, and then Syndra is going to follow up and burst you down.
Surprised here to see for Roccat Thresh rather than the Morgana pick in this. I mean,
especially against Syndra.
Especially against Syndra, you can stop Jarvan, you can stop Bubbles. Is it all about the lane here, though?
Yes, it is. It is all about the lane here. Nami is a lane counter to Morgana. Therefore, Vander doesn't want to take the chance. Simple as it is. He wants to take a lane away, can actually deal with the Nami. Yes, okay, you won't have the Black Shield now for Syndra, which would have been very good. Instead, though, you have a Zillion's ulti, which kind of works somewhat the same. Use it to protect your AD carry and make sure he stays alive, or if he dies, comes back to life here. Still, Zilean in the laning phase against the Syndra will get outranged, which could be a big issue for him. And again, Overpower is an insanely passive laner. If you talk with the mid laners here in Europe, they often say he's actually just straight up easy to play against. And he often needs a lot of help from Jankos if he wants to win his lane matchup. So therefore, Fnatic can really set up to, or Xpeke can set up to have a lot of pressure and dominate this mid lane.
So then, final 2 picks for Fnatic. We'll be seeing Alistar coming out for Soaz in the top lane. A final pick, which honestly I didn't expect him to go that far down the picks before being taken, but Soaz happily get his hands on that one, and Twitch for Rekkles. Another scary champion for him.
Yeah, and Fnatic, really going, or not even going back, just sticking to the same style we have seen pretty much all season long. A lot of pick potential here. You have the burst, single target burst from Azendra. You have the bubble from Nami. Alistar, of course, to CC people as well. Then Twitch just sneaking around here, finding people out of position. So much pick potential from Fnatic. And even a decent team fight because you have Peel from Nami and the Alistar to make sure Rekkles and Xpeke can stay safe in these fights here. Twitch Nami is a fine lane, but Twitch is not one of the best laners, so we could potentially see Fnatic swap around, also because Alistar is so good in a lane swap, and Nidalee, on the other hand, won't be able to bully her one-on-one lane. If you lane swap on her, you will delay her Trinity Force as well, which is very important for her to reach if she really wants to become this split pushing machine. So now I actually do believe Fnatic wants to lane swap it anyway, even though they start out by picking this Nami.
Won't be able to do the bullying in lane, but should have a bit of an easier time there in a 2 versus 1 with the range, with the spear and everything, and the heal, of course, to keep himself in that one. Going to be an interesting one here, game number 1. And I want to know from your guys' side who you think actually comes out stronger in this one. Which team has really emerged with the stronger lineup? All you have to do, tweet hashtag FNCWin or hashtag ROCWin to @LOL Esports, and we'll figure out how that vote is going to develop. Obviously, Fnatic almost goes without saying at this point of the season. We're the favorites from the LOLesports.com vote. What are you thinking, though, Deficio?
Well, looking at the comps here, obviously Rocket, they want to focus on split pushing with Xaxus on the Nidalee. But if he can get to the point where he can one-on-one the members from Fnatic and really start split pushing, in terms of pure like pick potential, definitely in favor of Fnatic here. And the mid lane can be a big issue with Zilean into the Syndra. Yes, okay, you can avoid dying because you have your ulti, but Xpeke should be able to pressure this lane, force overpowered, unless Jankos comes in to help him.
Which means then that Cyanide might just have more free time to help out across the map and get involved elsewhere. Let's figure it out, though, as we go into game here. It's the first match of the best-of-5 semi-final here. A winner, of course, will secure a spot at the 2014 World Championships. The loser will drop into the third-place playoff, which will be happening tomorrow, where the third and final spot then will be up for grabs. Gonna be a fun match to watch, and we'll see whose preparation really brings them out on top of this one. You see there Soaz on your screen playing the Alistar. We already know that Soaz is a man who pretty much can pull out and will pull out anything when you're least expecting it. Xaxus going in for a Nidalee. And if you think back to the Nidalees that we've seen so far, just this week at Gamescom even, there's been some scary Nidalees.
She is so strong if she gets the one-on-one lane. Like, she's supposed to win pretty much every single matchup in the early game. She doesn't have the same level 6 power spike she used to have because you don't instantly get your Kuka form. Like, you have it from the start now, which means at level 6 you won't get it and hit the power spike we saw from the old Nidalee. But she's just all around so good in one-on-one. Once she picks up Trinity Force and some tank items, maybe even a blade, she just becomes this split-pushing monster that is very hard to deal with, especially also for an Alistar. Still, we do see boots coming in from Source, so looking to roam around, I guess. Oh, Yellowstar!
Oh, gonna get flayed back from this one. The first bomb will come down. That's a good bubble onto Zilean. Can they keep going with this one? Yellowstar falling low, but is able to just walk away from that one. Didn't use his flash or his exhaust there.
That is keeping it very cool from Yellowstar here. A lot of players will just instantly a flash.
Yeah.
He popped the bubble, hit 2 members, and he just ran to safety. So no flash used. And we do also see now, look at Rekkles moving on your minimap, going towards the top side. But Rocket, they're expecting this one, so they're going to swap to the top side as well. So we will get the one-on-one now in the bottom lane. Nidalee versus Alistar, and Rocket as well, invading in onto this blue buff. Might be too late, however.
Coming in from the side here is Jankos. Actually walks in there a little bit too slow on that. Cyanide will be able to smite that one away, and Jankos putting a lot of pressure in early there.
And this is not good for Soaz here. Fnatic actually forced now to send Yellowstar and Rekkles back to this bottom lane because there's boots on Soaz, so he's not very strong in the lane, doesn't give him any combat stats, and at the same time he would have been so delayed at getting to the lane here. Xaxus is already there, picking up some farm. So Fnatic now swapping back to this bottom lane. Rekkles joining in now. If Xaxus actually started pushing the lane, Rekkles should be able to freeze it. Doesn't seem like he pushed it too hard. Therefore, we'll actually push up towards Xaxus now, and he should be able to get some XP.
We're happy with that one. We'll see exactly what Soaz does. For now, it's a bit of a buddy system going on. We can actually see Fnatic looking to secure a third buff, moving in towards Rocat's blue. That's already been started off there by Yellowstar, and Jankos down at half HP, just doing his red, means that he's not going to have a blue for the start.
Yeah, and that's a big deal here. Because Rocket was so late in the invade onto the blue buff. Fnatic can now deny him his own buff and also set him behind. And when you do want to beat Roccat, Jankos is often the guy you want to target and shut down early on so he doesn't have the impact we normally see from him. Getting 2 blue buffs at level 1 is a good start. Especially also because it means it's going to be even harder for Jankos to just sit and farm in the jungle. He won't really have the mana to do it, while Cyanide can get his level 3 on his red buff here. And instantly Jankos is like, okay, well, I'm done jungling. I'm just going to go top lane now, start pushing it, because down this bottom lane, it's being pushed as well.
He just got turret aggro there as well. That definitely wasn't planned in from Roccat. Took 2 hits from it and went a little bit too low. That means that he might be forced to start backing away. In fact, he has already backed away towards the brush to recall. So not an ideal start for him here. However, Roccat doing some good damage onto this top outer turret.
And down this bottom lane, Reckless and Yellowstar pushed it into the tower as well. Took good 25% of it. And now looking to freeze the lane. So they basically just wanted to take the wave, bounce it into the tower because he was already pushing towards Xaxus. So they bounced it into the tower, reset the wave, build it up a little bit, and now it's pushing towards them. And Reckless can freeze it if he wants to. Soaz and Sana just trying the classic Alistar gank at level 2 in this mid lane. Again, one of the reasons for the boots, so Soaz could roam around here in the early game. And they're still sitting around. There's Flash and Overpower, and he's staying very far back. Remember the long range from Pekka, though.
Oh.
There's stun!
Oh, stun coming in. There is a Flag and Dragon. They're going to try and go through. Headbutt pulverized combo comes down, and first blood will land with XPK. Brilliantly done, and that's the danger. Even if Alistar's shut down out of the lane, he's got boots and he's roaming.
Yes, sir, and he's one of the best top laners, if not the best, at roaming around early game and setting out these ganks here. Just remember a few years ago where Alistar jungle was a thing, and you always had to expect the level 2 gank. You always had to be afraid. And Overpower was staying pretty close to his tower, but he got hit by the stun, long range stun from XPK, and ends up dying.
Tower going down though in favor of Roccat. So that initial, we talked about it earlier, the fact that they have in recent times gone for these earlier tower pushes, try and get themselves a little bit ahead on that front. That's certainly working their way so far, but first blood for XPK means real problems for Overpower in the middle lane. Chalice going to be in there. He's got boots now as well as a few wards. See Fnatic with the amount of wards. If you look down the items that they've got, there's a lot of wards there. Is it going to be a possible early dragon?
Fnatic is the kings of wards. They will always get deep wards in, find out where your jungler is, which simply means XPK and Soaz can then run around on the map and do whatever they want. Same goes for Reckless on Twitch now, because they know where everyone from Roccat is. And it's just what Fnatic always does. They put so much focus on buying all these wards here. We just see once again XPK with their range advantage, poking onto Overpower, who's actually been farming okay in the lane. He did die, fell even further behind. And we do see now all here. 5 members from Fnatic down on the bottom side of the map. They're really setting up for this dragon. Silva's in the top lane, so it's going to be a dragon for Fnatic here.
AD carry nowhere near that one. 4 men from Roccat will come down though towards the dragon area, so they may still look to put up some kind of fight for it, but it would be a 5 versus 4 if they decided to get involved with this one. There is a trap down, which they're just making sure that they can try and get around there. Ward in the Tribush, as Fnatic are hoping to maybe catch someone out. Meanwhile, Peke and Overpower once again in that mid lane, and look at that. Ulti comes out from Peke, it leaves Overpower with nothing. Crucially, doesn't pop the ultimate, which would have actually given Overpower more health back if he'd have come back in. There's a hook onto the minions though, trying to defend that turret, but again, Peke just dominating this middle lane.
So because Celaver is freezing the top lane, Fnatic doesn't have to instantly rush the dragon. They know they have time to push down this tower first with the 4 members. There's not enough members from Roccat to actually defend it, again, because Celaver is just sitting up in his top lane and freezing it, so he's not going anywhere for the next few minutes. So Fnatic takes their time, get a tower, then they can go dragon. Overpower doesn't have ulti now for the next fight, and Xaxus is going to be a lot weaker than an Alistar in a straight-up team fight at this point. He's also slightly behind, actually, in terms of XP.
Speaking of XP, XPK in the mid lane, 66 to 46 ahead, 20 CS and the kill there. Almost dropping the ultimate of Overpower, certainly forcing him to use it, but not quite finishing off. And there's a flash from Vander, not wanting to be involved there. That's a good hook fight though. They managed to put 6 yet, which means he's going to go down. Vander will get the kill. That was all a little bit disjointed from Fnatic.
So while Fnatic did delay the dragon, this actually means they're not going to start it at all now. Because Source walked in and died. They did force a flash from Vander. But he quickly responded. And an easy kill on Source, who only had boots. So still a very squishy cow before he gets his ulti here. So while they did get the bot tower from Fnatic side, they didn't actually take the dragon. They should have just gone for it with 5 members. No ulti and overpower. Xaxus was only level 4. Decided to play it very, very safe and actually end up being too aggressive and die.
So, blue buffs then. What's going to happen with that one? Actually, I think the camp was still alive there, if I'm not mistaken. They actually went in for it and had to kill it off. Obviously, at level 1, Jankos did force them away from it. Let's see how that one all develops. Blue buff did go over to overpower, at least for now, over on Rocat's side of things. But look at this, they're going to go in once again. There's a stun coming down. Rekkles appears out of the stealth, and that's all the damage again. His ulti gets popped. Question is now if they can lock him down. A bubble after the flash from Yellowstar. Amazing.
So much focus on overpower here. His flash is up in just a few seconds. And this is also what you can do when you have a Twitch. You can just sneak around and stuff. You had this lane swap, the bottom tower is already dead. He's coming from base. Long range stun once again. Overpower gets stunned, killed by Rekkles. Oh, sorry, not killed by Rekkles actually, but died. And now Fnatic starting the dragon. Starting to take a lot of damage from it. And there's 4 members from Rocket coming in. They want to fight.
This is actually really, really dangerous. Peke going low. Behind Jankos. Jankos coming in. Manages to get the kill on Peke. Yellowstar might go down as well. It's a double for Jankos. Can they get any more here? Soaz is actually trying to bully them away from it. Ulti running, flash away from the spear. Well, Jankos still moving forward on this. And they get 2 for nothing and force Fnatic away from Dragon. Might not be over yet. Soaz going to get jumped on. He has to flash.
So right here, 4 members from Rocket managed to not only stop Fnatic from doing the dragon, they even killed 2 members. Sanad was very low tanking it, and also Xpeke was standing outside the dragon pit. He was the first target they jumped onto. And this was also because Celaver had actually joined in. He wasn't there earlier if they had done the dragon. Now he was part of the fight. Let's see if Rekkles wants to pick up some more kills. He's all alone though. The cow is not much help when he's down to 40% HP.
No. Ulti already used at the start of that one, and that leaves Roccat with a decent lead at this point. 1,300 gold in their favor. Of course, mid lane having a few problems, which is scary stuff because Peke is obviously going to get to a strong point a lot quicker here than what Overpower can match. Currently working towards that Athene's Unholy Grail, so not exactly gone really massive and just gone, okay, I'm going DFG first, and we might as well really get this party started. But on the same token, if you look at Rekkles' CS, after that entire time that Celaver was alone in the top lane, froze it out for ages, Rekkles has really clawed back in terms of the creep score.
Yeah, he was actually about 15 CS behind just before the gank in the mid lane, and then also the dragon fight. After the fight, Celaver went back to base, while Rekkles just walked down to this bottom lane and picked up some farms, so managed to almost even it out. Celaver, however, is sitting there in the lane now. Gonna pick up a lot of minions, so he's gonna retake his quite big gold lead, or CS lead, early on here. And also have the dragon, so looking very good for Celaver once again, who has really shown he is an AD carry, who has stepped up, improved, and can now really carry the games. Also why Rocket loves to build these comps around him, where you take something like a Zilean and you simply use him to protect Celaver in these fights.
Not like they were having a go for a red buff steal there, but Jankos had already been around, took himself that away before Fnatic could actually get in there. And they've put a lot of focus on these buffs as well, we have to say, at the early stages. Of course, the blue buff steal from level 1, or maybe level 2, but very early on in the game, which stopped Jankos getting a hold of that one. However, Jankos is still 2-0-1, still ahead in CS as well. So that Kha'Zix could be getting a little bit scary for them. Meanwhile, though, we are seeing Rekkles and Yellowstar push out the top lane. Celaver will be joined here by Vander, and they're going to try and take down the bottom outer tower.
And Jankos as well, joining to this bottom lane, like we always see from Jankos when he plays these junglers, where he can push out the waves, where he can join in to take the towers. He will do it early on. He was part of the top lane, now he's part of the bottom lane, dying as well. And it's also one of the reasons he always picks up so much farm, because he takes a lot of lane farm, which hopefully is very good for him. And he's actually going to keep pushing down here. Sanad and Xpeke moving down towards this bottom lane. Overpower joining from mid lane as well, or going back to farm actually. Rocket's still staying. They want to keep pushing this tower.
And why not? Look at the line of wards that they've got. Basically from the blue buff, they've gone pink ward there, and 3 wards all the way through the jungle. Means that they can actually see if anyone does come down from that middle of the map to try and stop them pushing on this turret. They've already got a few auto attacks off on it as well, and there's another minion wave coming.
And always one of their weak points about an Alistar is you can't really clear your wave. I mean, you can be... It's very hard to dive an Alistar because of his ulti, but he's not really able to just walk straight in, clear the wave while you're actually there sieging up the tower. So we saw him and Cyanide both stay back and just wait for the minions to dive from the tower and try and last hit them, which meant Rocket at least got a little bit of damage on it from the very small siege down here. Reckless was sneaking around this top lane, looking for Xaxus. There's no blade just yet for Twitch. Once he gets the blade, we can really start seeing Reckless try and make some plays.
No blade for him, but there is a Trinity Force on the other side for Selva already. Obviously maintaining his CS lead, but that's been fluctuating and staying rather close in these last few minutes. Top lane, there is a big advantage for Nidalee. You should probably expect, considering the fact that Soaz was roaming for these good 5-6 minutes maybe right at the very start, also helping them secure that first blood. But that's 58 to 36 CS. Phage in there first for Xaxus, so Trinity Force for him. And also see that a Sheen coming out for Soaz.
Yeah, and Soaz also lost a lot of farm down his bottom lane because Rocket was taking the first tower and pushing into the second one, where we just talked about how Soaz can't really go in and last hit the minions. He has to just stay back under his own tower, which meant Xaxus up in his top lane could just sit and pick up some farm and then wait for the massive wave, and oh, Soaz, you might be in trouble.
Oh, actually, you know,
well,
this is the cow underneath the tower, yeah, and they managed to get the headbutt back. Soaz, despite his ultimate on, getting rid of 70% of the damage that was done to him, he still falls to less than half HP. Vander went incredibly low from everything, the minions and all of that, and the tower hits as well. It was causing him a few problems, but they're going to keep pushing on this one. Now that Cyanide's there, I think that might be a signal to retreat somewhat here for Vander. Dangerously low.
But we really have to give a lot of credit to Rocket and all the wards in the jungle of Fnatic here, so they can safely just keep pushing this bottom lane, keep denying farm from Soaz on this Alistar, and get some damage on the tower every single time. Because they have all these wards, they can see whoever is moving, unless it's like Reckless moving from the base in stealth. That's what the thing they have to worry about. Otherwise, they can see every single member from Fnatic moving around. See, they just spotted Cyanide. Every single bush he went into, there was a ward. Okay, he just warded Dragon, he's moving up here. Even more wards from Rocket to spot everything going on here. So been very safe. Celo have been picking up quite some farm down this bottom side. Same can be said about Reckless up in the top side, however.
And that's the funny thing from Fnatic, a team that you expect to have good wards down, having very little on the map. Obviously, that trying to change that one. We just saw Cyanide come in to ward a little bit. Yellow Star is actually on his way up there as well. So he's going to be utilizing that Sightstone. Got a pink ward in as well, and we'll be scanning out just to make sure that they maintain some kind of control, especially around this Dragon area, because that's just spawned in. Jankos not there, though.
He will be able to join very soon. Reckless sneaking in here. Red buff. Maybe want to pop an ulti from overpower. Not this time around. He's staying too far back, too close to his own tower. The rest of Rocket is still around this Dragon here, but Fnatic now taking control, clearing the pink wards. And the pink wards from Rocket actually is still on their members. They haven't placed them just yet. So now they've actually lost the control around the river. Fnatic looking to land some poke.
Rocket, though, basically just forcing their way into that river area. Soaz, of course, is in top lane. Teleport available for him. So they may be forced to deal with him here. That might force a recall from Xaxus to go and do that one. Or they might just get the cow joining the fight a little bit later on. Dragon is going to be pulled out here by Vander. That is a start for Rocket then. Let's see if they can actually get this one finished off. Fnatic not going to give this one up easily. Trying to just poke as much as they can with those Nidalee Spears, with Cockmore hammering away at range. There is the TP coming into the Death Brush. Alistar going to join the fight. If anyone's going to start it off, it may well just be Soaz to dive right into the front. Towards Xpeke, he's going to flash away. Tidal Wave going to come through. Zillion's at the back. He's got the bomb onto Xpeke. Is it enough to finish him off? Yes, he will, even with the Summoner Heal coming out. And now the chase is on. Soaz's ultimate is gone. And there's a hook from Vander. Back range. They get themselves 2 kills. Can they get any more from it? There is Cyanide forced off by Jankos. 2 kills. It's going to be a Dragon as well for Rocket.
Very, very nice setup here. Xpeke was trying to land the stun, so he stayed actually as the front member from Fnatic here. Nice hook landing from Vander. And then an overpower just coming from the mid lane. Double bomb and ignite onto him, killing him instantly as the fight actually started. And then Rocket can take Dragon, win the fight, and we talk about how Rocket in these team fights, they are so strong. They love to make these comps here, which can really put up a lot of damage in these fights here. And Celebar is just staying completely untouched. Let's see it again here. Xpeke trying to land a stun. Actually does land on Jankos, but at the same time, hook comes in from Vander, onto him, forced a flash over from the mid lane, double bomb, and Xpeke is dead. The rest of Rocket now chasing. One of the good things about Kha'Zix's jungle is you have this massive slow here. You can land it on multiple members and just keep chasing off. And just another hook from Vanderlife.
Vanderlife, that we've not seen for quite a while. If you remember back to Spring Split, we were singing nothing but praises with Vander on Thresh. I kind of got a little bit quiet and moved away from the Thresh.
He was saving it.
Not having massive success, but he has been on point this game so far. 1-0-3 with that Thresh. We also have a few more items coming into this one. So the Morel and Nomicon actually picked up by Overpower, so just trying to negate a little bit of the healing power out of Alistar and Nami. Oh, Xaxus. Wow, he is out of position there. Actually does get headbutted back, and then we'll just jump into Cougar form.
Oh, he's not safe yet.
Over the wall there is Peke coming in. Ulti is going to be used. Xaxus is going to go down, and Peke will pick up his third of the game.
So while he did actually try and flash and jump away, Peke just walked straight up to him, picked up an easy kill here. Still, looking back at that last team fight, it was all about the engage. Onto Xpeke, he was staying in the front, which meant Rocket could win the team fight. They do have to send someone up and defend his top tower, otherwise it's gonna die.
Well, it is gonna die.
And they're gonna keep pushing in.
4 men for Fnatic. Rocket have only got 3 down bottom. Peke will come to try and slow them down, but that inner turret will fall. They have to defend now, though, on the inhibitor turret, and that probably goes from both sides. We see one recall from the top side. Jankos taking a bit of a blast. They're going to go for Peke. Can they land it?
No
They got vision. The hook doesn't land. As you mentioned, no flash for Peke meant he was vulnerable. They forced him away from the tower. Fnatic are now recalling back in, but are they going to be fast enough to save that inhibitor tower? I don't think they are. Jankos steps forward, gets the kill onto Peke. Here comes the cow out of the base, but Soaz needs to be real careful as well. Has to pop his ultimate. Flayed back though, and there's a lot of CC coming in. There's the hook. The box goes down. Meanwhile, Xaxus has to use the ulti there out of overpower. One more hit will kill off Soaz, and Rekkles is being bombed as well. Xaxus going to dive forward. Where's the spear? Flashed away from. That will leave Yellowstar open as he throws down his tidal wave. And 2 kills coming in, and it might not be over just yet.
Inhibitor
having to go away, and the inhibitor is taken down by Rocket. Wow.
Fnatic just standing there one by one, dying. Lost the towers, lost the inhibitor. Yellowstar in his top lane here, he might go down as well.
Exhausting the slow from Rekkles, yeah.
No, they're still chasing.
Oh, no.
You got the Zillion speed.
Again. Gets away from the spear. The bubble will force Xaxus to turn around. And, well, Rocket, a team that, let's be honest, have not impressed us for a lot of this split with decision-making, especially later on in the game. They really stuck to their guns. They'd obviously made a call there, stuck to it, executed it brilliantly.
So they simply made the call saying, we don't care about the 4 members in top lane because we have Xaxus respawning and we have overpower there, so we have 2 members to try and stop it, while Fnatic only had Syndra down this bottom lane to try and stop the push. And because there's no flash and Xpeke used in the last team fight, and there was no ulti either, Jankos felt like he could just jump him instantly, got him low, second time around they jumped him again, killed him this time, got the tower. Soaz jumped in all alone, ended up dying, and inhibitor went down. Overall, just very, very good call by Rocket here. Even though it looked like they were going to lose a base race, played it very cool and said, you know what, we can take this one. If there's only 1 member here, we can jump him, we can kill him. And we're going to win this base race here. So inhibitor down. And now instantly you see Rocket moving in towards this bounty, and oh, Cyanide, you might be dead.
Hook onto Cyanide, he's going to actually slide away, but how far is he going to go? Overpower speeding in. Cyanide actually flashed there just to get that extra distance away from the bombs. Xaxus, meanwhile, has been pushing this top lane out, and Fnatic need to hurry up and try and defend this one. Rekkles is just having a bit of a walk inside of mid there. Is Soaz diving in. He's going to pop his ultimate, but again, they just hook him up. Ulti being forced out. Celebar gets hit by the bubble, but there's no follow-through there from Fnatic. And with Alistar's ulti down now, that is an opportunity for Rocket.
Yeah, and whenever Fnatic decides to engage, they never seem to target Celebar. He has Trinity Force and Blade completed already, and he's the guy you want to kill. Now they will target him. Where's the Lantern?
Well, Rocket have left him all alone, but there is a Lantern. And Vander pulls him to safety. Gonna say calculated there out of Roccat. Vander knew he could keep his AD carry alive. Meanwhile, Overpower just finishing off that outer turret in the mid lane. And look at that, straight onto the inner one. Peke at half HP. Overpower starts to sting now with that Morellonomicon with the Archangel staff in there. Those bombs definitely do a lot of damage. And the super minions, let's not forget, with that bottom inhibitor, already hammering away on the Nexus turrets, 23 minutes in.
We also just saw another reason for Vander not picking Morgana in the Champs League, where we talked about it. Having the Lantern against a Jarvan when he jumps your AD carry or whatever member without a jump from Roccat is just so good. And also meant the Vander kept it really cool. He waited for the ulti and then he gave the Lantern to Celabar. He just wanted Cyanide to pop his ulti in, actually think he could kill him. And Roccat, at the moment, in full control. Overpower still though, is taking a lot of damage in his mid lane.
He has to use his ulti, doesn't actually die in the end. Pretty much the second time that's happened, and I think the damage that they've done to Vander there may just open up this outer turret in the mid lane, although Zaza's coming around as well. That might be enough to deter Fnatic from sticking around. Jankos actually trying to flank in. Celabar joined in, and Roccat managed to hold on to the outer tower.
And credit to Overpower as well for showing how manly he can be, even though he dies a few times in the early game. The fact he didn't build Athenes against a Syndra to get the magic resist, instead wanted the healing reduction, and also just the base AP you get here from the Morellonomicon. It does give more AP than the Athenes, so he just wanted some straight AP. He wanted to stay in the backline anyway for these team fights, so he shouldn't be the target, or shouldn't actually be possible for Xpeke to kill him if he's just staying in the back and letting Jankos and Xaxus do the frontline tanking, which of course is not ideal considering the fact that they haven't actually built a lot of tank items yet. But it doesn't matter for Roccat at the moment because they're just poking and rotating between these lanes, taking down towers. Every time we see an engagement from Fnatic, they never really seem to hit Celabar, and therefore he just stays alive and just keeps hitting everyone and killing everyone from Fnatic.
But that old question mark over Rockat's head that's kind of haunted them this entire season long. They're ahead in a lot of games. They go into the late game. Sometimes they struggle to close it and manage it a lot later than you'd expect. Sometimes, to be brutally honest, they've thrown games away. Fnatic are a team that if you make a single mistake, they're definitely going to punish you here. So Roccat need to keep up what has been so far this match. Sublime calling and execution of that as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Into this late game. That's the real test for them here.
And we also have to remember we have actually only seen one real team fight around the Dragon, where we had the nice 2 hooks actually from Vander, setting up the 2 kills for Roccat and the Dragon. Otherwise, it's been about, you know, the tower pushing and the small fights up in the top lane. Nobody actually went down. It's just Roccat moving up, hitting the tower a little bit, and then Lantern, Celabar out to safety. So we haven't actually seen more than just one team fight. Fnatic is very far behind in gold, so the next team fight will be even harder for them now, especially if Vander can keep landing these hooks here to engage him, because he's gonna be the main engage. Jankos jumping in and landing slow is good if you want to chase, but that's not a main engage. It's all about Vander landing the hooks.
Cyanide, this is your time to shine. Is he going to be able to get in there? Actually, Roccat decide, let's stop the Baron here. We need to move away. Peke had gone around the backside with the vision that they'd got over the wall then. Was able to do some decent amounts of damage, and Roccat start to recall away. Fnatic not going to directly pounce onto that Baron. And Roccat then sending 2 men back will now have to defend it with 3 just to stop Fnatic saying, okay, they've just all recalled, let's just rush that Baron down. It's not going to happen here though. In fact, Overpower, I actually think this could be a little bit dangerous for him, showing himself down the bottom lane. Yes, he can speed himself up over and over with the rewind, but look at Fnatic, they're going to move in, and all that work that Roccat had really done there to get the vision control goes to waste.
Lost the 2 pink wards there. They still have 1 ward outside the Baron pit to actually see if Fnatic will start it. But just because Overpower is going to this bottom lane, he needs to farm. He wants to complete his death cap before the next big team fight. Meant they had to give up the 2 pink wards. Still, it is a trade Roccat can be fairly happy with, just because they want to get the death cap here on Overpower. So he really starts doing a lot of damage on the bombs. And also, once you use this ulti, you come back with almost 100% HP, which is going to be a big deal. So now they're in this jungle here. Another pink ward placed by Jankos and Vander. No, 2 pink wards, we should say instead. It's actually funny because we always talk about Fnatic and their ward control. Jankos and Vander are the support and the jungler who places the most wards in the LCS if we count the quarterfinals games, where they of course have 4 more games than Yellowstar had and Sanad had to place the wards. But those two together put so much focus as well on getting all these wards down, and pretty much the entire game they have just been one step ahead of Fnatic by putting down all these wards in the jungle so they could push these side lanes safely and always get some damage on them and also take the right trades.
Oh, big stun there from Peke, landing onto 2 of them. ROCCAT obviously just trying to get in, kill off this inhibitor once again, so that they can have the pressure of those super minions once again working in their favor. As I said, the last wave that came in did manage to get a few hits off onto those Nexus turrets, but for now, that will all be regen back up. But it's more of the pressure from, you have to send someone back to defend against those super minions, which then means you can either push top lane. Obviously, Baron as well becomes a lot easier. Overpower there, getting stunned up and actually used his ultimate. So that is now down, and you can see with that ROCCAT decide, no, it's too risky now.
Yeah, this was enough for Fnatic to force ROCCAT back. They didn't actually have to kill Overpower, just force his ulti, so he couldn't use it on himself or Celavar in a potential team fight. And ROCCAT will go back to base here and wait for it to be red again. Look at the cooldown, however. Because Overpower, late game Zilean, you can just spam your W. It's going to be ready in just a matter of seconds now. And then ROCCAT once again can group up, potentially go down to this bottom lane and look for a team fight if they want to, or look to just take down the inhibitor. But Fnatic seems like they want to go straight towards this Baron here, set up their own pink wards, and see if now they can catch someone from ROCCAT out of position. If Vander walks into ward all alone, he will die. Well, he kind of has to walk down to them, not just around the jungle.
Actually doesn't, which is a wise move, you know, with the foresight that we have been able to see the wards and positions of both teams. Fnatic just looking for that cheeky pickup. Single kill at this point would probably mean that a Baron would be started off. Rekkles, though, quite happy to get himself some extra farm. Ghostblade, of course, was added into that Blade of the Ruin King. Also, a lot of magic resist coming in here as well for Fnatic, picking up those Negatron cloaks. And there is Jankos. I'm not sure he specifically wanted to take that blue buff there. I think that was meant for Overpower.
Well, actually, I don't think so, because
Really?
Overpower at the moment is sitting on 40% cooldown reduction. He has enough mana regen because he has his Tia and Morello and Nomicon. And Jankos wants to be the guy.
Oh, Vander.
So I did actually say Vander walks around alone.
Yeah, so that happened just a little bit later than we thought. Now let's see what Fnatic have got planned from this one. Support is down. Big element of CC from that ROCCAT combination.
Jankos coming in behind here though. Peke is a little bit exposed.
Oh, Spears coming around Jankos. He's going to go forward.
Go forward,
Let's go that one to Overpower. Overpower uses ultimate on himself, but he's already in trouble. Great bubble onto 2 men at the back. There is Celavar. Focus finished off as well. Fnatic pick up the kill, and that is 2 men down now. What are they going to do? Looks like they might try and push this middle lane out. The stuns of Peke will keep ROCCAT busy from the side. Jankos just trying to poke them down with Nidalee Spears as well, but that looks like it's going to be the inner turret at least here for Fnatic. We do see Vander coming back into the game, so Fnatic here, do they turn and burn for base, or do they think about Baron?
Oh, Joe, don't call me Joe Miller. You did say if you make one mistake against Fnatic, they will punish you. Peke was standing in the mid lane, so I'm not sure if ROCCAT expected the remaining members of Fnatic to be on Baron. Now they might be in trouble again. There's still only 4 members.
Yeah, Overpower did manage to get his ultimate rewind in there as Rekkles going to get pulled in. Jankos over on the backside, trying to go for Soaz. The bomb will be enough. Rekkles gets bombed as well. Can they get any more? Jankos steps away from the bubble. Sazza's trying to get in. Can Vander? Oh, he does max range onto Peke. Peke's down. Yellowstone's going to fall here to Jankos. And now Cyanide sliding in to try and help out the support and maybe get away from the chasing team. But I don't think he's going to. Another hookland from Vander. And that is 4 men down for Fnatic.
Fair enough then. If you do have Vander playing like an absolute god, landing every single hook, you can take the 4v5. This time around, there was no ulti for Source, so once he actually went in, he dropped very low, he died from the bomb as well, and ROCCAT could take the fight. 4 members against the 5 from Fnatic, who had used a lot of ultis, had to be said, from the last fight, but still, that was also just a chase potential for Kha'Zix, and then when you have Vander landing all these hooks here, they could pick up the kills, pick up the Baron as well. But the first time around, it was probably just Rocket thinking Xpeke was out of position in this mid lane all alone. Let's try and jump him and kill him, and then go and stop the Baron. And then they face check 5 people. Lost the member, Selva went down for it. But damn, they did just show. They could still fight 4 members in the end.
Rekkles stealthing up, the bubble comes out, but it's gone wide. Overpower actually just going to be speeding on in there. Will slow down Rekkles, but decides not to follow up too much on that one. Dragon's been alive for quite a while here, so that's basically free gold at this point for whoever moves through it. It will be Roccat that take that one. And with that, almost closing a 10,000 gold lead.
And look at the difference in junglers in this game here. While we didn't see a lot of ganks in the early game from any of them, we saw Jankos put a lot of focus once again on pushing the tower. So early top tower went down because he was up there pushing it, then he went down to this bottom lane, took the tower as well. And then every single team fight, Jankos has just been there landing his poke, and whenever someone dropped low, he was got to jump in and finish him. Let's see it again here. 5 members from Fnatic. Remember, there's no ulti for Soaz, so he's still fairly squishy. And everyone from Fnatic just piling onto Overpower while he's dead. Comes back to life, pops the bomb, and now the rest of Rocket just stayed safe in the back line, dealing all the damage. The bomb takes down Soaz, and here's why Kha'Zix is so strong. He jumps in, keep chasing, and of course Vanderlife with the hook here. Gets another kill, chases onto Yellowstar, he's gonna die too. Cyanide is like, okay, let me try and help my support. Actually ends up costing his life.
Roccat with a massive lead here in game number 1. Might have just been the confidence boost that they really needed coming into this game as well. We said it before, they are a very, very strong best of 5 team. Yeah, he actually just walked in the right direction away from the scan in the nick of time. So he gets away with that one. There were 3 of them there, and they would have pounced. And the way that Vander's been playing, you'd probably say the chance of him landing a hook there were pretty damn high as well. He's been involved in 9 kills out of the 11. Jankos exactly the same as well. 6-0-3 for Kha'Zix. Scary stuff for Fnatic. Are they going to fall 1-0 behind? They're actually setting up a trap here for Roccat.
Oh, the Fnatic
Gonna
trap.
walk straight into it. Can they get the stun off? No, didn't quite have the range there. It was aimed at Selva, but he was able to walk back.
And Rocket now pushing up. We have seen him be in this position before here where they push onto this inhibitor, and then Overpower to pop his ulti, and then the rest of Rocket just stepped away. Didn't want to risk any potential team fight where someone could have just been blown up by Xpeke or Rekkles. Now they're in the position again. Not feeling confident enough at the moment. I'm still waiting probably for Xaxus to push his mid lane before they move in. Look at Rekkles, he's sneaking onto Xaxus.
He's going to be able to kill him. There he is, coming out of stealth. Xaxus starts to jump away. Overpower coming in. There is a tidal wave. Xaxus actually super low. Will actually be in a little bit of trouble here, possibly. Overpower flashing away as well. Didn't want to get picked up by the cow. And Xaxus will survive. Didn't need Overpower's ultimate in the end.
So Rocket were waiting for Xaxus to push the mid lane in, and at the same time they didn't really have any control of where Rekkles was sneaking around this Twitch. So they played it safe until he actually jumped Xaxus in the mid lane, and instantly Overpower was there with the ulti to make sure if he actually went down, he would be safe. It's a good response here by Fnatic against the Baron up team. So what you can do when you have the Blade and Ghostblade Twitch. Just for those few seconds where the Ghostblade is active, you can do a lot of damage.
See what comes out next for him here. Sion on Pickaxe and a Negatron Cloak, so do you go more damage? Do you try and get a little bit more safety? Safety first, in my opinion. Not for Rekkles, apparently, and who am I to argue with him? BF Sword being picked up. Well, the fact is when Vander can hook you somehow through about 3 other teammates that are trying to protect you, bit of safety would never hurt.
But if you do look at the comp from Rocket, they don't have anyone really diving onto AD carry. Again, Kha'Zix, he could do it before they changed it to his ulti, where he no longer has the damage reduction, so he can just dive in. Selva in a bit of a risky situation here. Feeling confident though, because Overpower has his ulti ready, and the lantern from Vander, but still, Rocket is more about just like constantly poking and like kite, poke, and then whenever Soaz's ulti is gone, they can kill him or kill Cyanide, and then they will chase on towards Rekkles. So he's still feeling fairly safe in the back line. He didn't die yet, even though we've had a few team fights. So can't really blame him. And they are gonna need the damage, because at the moment it takes a lot of time for Fnatic to take down the members. Soaz doesn't do a lot of damage at this point. He's not the guy to just solo down someone in a team fight, like bursting down. Cyanide, of course, Java and jungle, the same deal for him. So it's all about Xpeke and Rekkles in these fights here. And if they don't have enough damage, we've seen what happens. Rocket will out-sustain him in the fights, simply due to the ulti from Overpower and the fact they can keep kiting and landing the slow, landing the poke, and then re-engage when they feel like now they have the advantage.
Just seen a few moments ago, Void Staff was added in for Zilean, and now Kog'Maw and Kha'Zix both picked up a Last Whisper as well. Could mean a little bit of pain here for Fnatic, who are actually all down bottom. They were trying to once again set up the trap for Roccat. We've tried it a couple of times here. Couldn't quite make it work last time as a stun from Peke didn't land onto Celaver as intended. And this time they also gave it up, realizing that Roccat weren't actually coming anywhere near them. So let's have a look at this one. We're almost 40 minutes into the game. 11-5 in kills to Roccat. As the 11,000 gold lead for Roccat, up 6-5 in turrets. Of course, there's an open inhibitor down in the bottom lane. That went down very, very early in this match. But Fnatic, since then, they've been able to hold Roccat away from it. Or we could maybe even look at it from the other angle and say Roccat have not really made any attempt to go for it.
Yeah, so Roccat hasn't really been able to split push simply because Rekkles is playing Twitch. And he's always sneaking around here looking for the one member split pushing. Like Xaxus on Nidalee is normally a split push champion. He's instead gone Trinity Force and then very tanky and focused on actually being part of all the team fights. So we haven't really seen Roccat go into this split push mode simply because of the Twitch pick from Fnatic here, and the pick potential they still do have even though they are behind.
Once again, getting more wards down. Rekkles actually stealths up there. Looked like he was thinking about going for a little bit of a peek in the enemy jungle, see what he could find. In the end, decides against it for now. Jankos took a bit of a blast. There's another dragon spawning in here, so why not take that one away? Add a bit more gold to your lead. Fnatic going to put a ward in the back there. See, it's already down low and decide it's not worth it at this point. Even Cyanide, who's decently tanky. We can't say a big unkillable tank at this point, though. Still, for him, not worth it to dive in there. Try for one of his patented steals.
Yeah, and he went Sidestone as well, so giving up a lot of potential tank stats by investing gold into getting more wards, but it is their Cyanide and Fnatic style, where you do want to invest in a lot of wards, but same goes for Roccat on the other side, and their ward control has been great in this game. With full credit to Jankos and Vander. And we just have to say also, they made the better decisions, to be honest. They were there to punish Fnatic when they did the first dragon, pick up first of all, pick up a kill on Soaz, and then pick up 2 kills in the teamfight after. And Vander was looking for the hook here.
Gets sped up there by Zilean, trying to get in onto Peke, but not quite this time around. Actually falling a little bit low there and deciding to start the recall off. So Vander is going to go back. Celaver has also recalled here as well, so 2 men out of the equation for now, but Fnatic will be moving in simply for a bit of ward placement, try and get some control back over that Baron, because losing a second Baron here to Roccat could possibly be enough to tip the game over.
Yeah, but right now, Roccat is being too passive, to be honest. They keep
Roccat.
Yeah, I know, but they keep putting up wards to the Baron, and then as soon as Fnatic move in towards the Baron, they just run away from it and end up giving all the vision control back to Fnatic, and then they have to go in and do the exact same again, which just buys more and more time for Fnatic to actually sit and farm and wait for the right opportunity to potentially get a pick. Roccat does have a very good late game comp because they can protect Celaver so well with their Zilean, but Zilean will lose a lot of damage. Same goes for the Nidalee pick in terms of, well actually Nidalee, if she actually gets onto you with her Q and Kuka form, she will do a lot of damage, but it's a bit hard to do in a straight up team fight. So in that case, Roccat is giving a lot of time to Fnatic here to try and come back in the game. Remember, the further into the game we go, the less the goal lead means. I mean, once you hit the 5-6 items on all your carries, it doesn't matter if you're 10-15,000 gold behind.
Fnatic are making a strong positional play here up that mid lane, forcing Roccat to back off through their own jungle. Peke did land a stun earlier on towards Vander. Cyanide actually stepped forward, but then stepped back once again as he realized he might not be able to get in there. Soaz is actually recalling, so that would leave 5 versus 4 here. Obviously, he does have teleport, though, so can come straight back into this one. There's a stun on towards Vander. Bubba will follow as well. Are they going to pile in? Cyanide actually having to jump away, and Jankos going right into the middle of the team. Switches targets. Rekkles and Peke are going to be, here he goes. But there's the ulti out of Overpower to bring him back to life. Full HP as well. And Roccat are able to force Fnatic away with 2 men low, and that could be Baron.
And now they do it here. They've been around this Baron for a long, long time, but never really wanted to commit to the fight here. Soaz teleporting in. 4 members now from Fnatic trying to stop this one. Soaz does have his ulti, he can go in.
Can they get it? There is a tidal wave coming through, but it's going to be taken. Jankos will smite it down, and now the chase is on. Peke going to be focused by Xaxus and Jankos, and there is the kill. It's Xaxus that gets it. Meanwhile, the cow at the back, his ulti will run out, and he's going to go down. Celaver will get that one, and Jankos keeps chasing through. Cyanide will be able to back away, but it's almost minute-long spawn times here for Soaz and Xpeke. This is Rocat's time to shine.
Yeah, instantly just moving to this bottom lane here. They want to take it while the 2 members are dead. Opa, however, will get jumped on.
Oh, knocked
just
up
dodged around.
Rekkles actually trying to get in there for that. There's a TP from Xaxus to come back in. Yellowstar falling low. Can they finish him off? Jankos dives in. It's overpowered. Gets the kill. Rekkles will fall as well. And in the back line, Cyanide dies. And that right here is surely game number 1 for Roccat. No one left up in the game. 20 seconds until both Peke and Soaz actually respawn here. And Roccat going to go straight in onto the Nexus turrets and pick up game number 1 here in the semi-final. We said it before, Fnatic were the big favorites. Can the underdogs do it?
At least game 1, Roccat once again shows how good they are in best out of 5 and preparing for these games here. Early pick Celaver's AD carry. Once again, they trust in him to do well no matter what AD carry he's against. And then you just see the Zilean being locked in from Overpower to protect Celaver and also to give some more chase potential once they're locked in Nidalee and Kha'Zix, who are both able to just chase in these team fights. If you poke someone down, Nidalee and Kha'Zix can just run after you and they will catch you. And we saw it in these fights here. They got them low, Fnatic tried to run away, got chased or ran down, ended up dying, gave dragons, gave towers, and the decision-making from Roccat in this game here was just better than Fnatic's. Early on, Fnatic could have gone for the dragon, 5 members with Celaver sitting in the top lane. They didn't do it. They waited for Celaver to run all the way down, be part of the big fight, and then 4 members from Roccat actually stopped the dragon and killed 2 members from Fnatic. And then, of course, we have to mention the base race. We could almost call it a base race, because Fnatic was 4 members in top lane pushing. It looked good for Fnatic in the start, but then there was 2 members from Roccat to defend it, and the 3 members for Roccat pushing down his bottom lane. And then Fnatic ran in like 1 member at a time. Peke died, and Soaz died, and Cyanide almost died, and they ended up losing 2 towers and inhibitor because they just ran it like 1 by 1 by 1. And all of a sudden, Roccat were like 5,000-6,000 gold ahead and just kept the lead.
I want to talk about Vander here because he had an amazing performance. He scored by the end 1-1-11, all the ones for Vander. Maybe wants to be number 1 here in playoffs from that result. But he hit ridiculous hooks.
Yes.
His lanterns were on point 2, 3, 4, 5 times in that game to mostly save Celaver. We saw it in the top lane where they just chase him down inside the Cataclysm. And you're thinking, oh no, what's he going to do? Lantern comes over the top of the wall and he takes him out safety. Vander was brilliant in that game.
It is really scary to consider out of the 11 assists, like 5, 6, maybe even 7 of them was from hooks, which actually gave kills to Roccat. It was not just like throwing down the lantern in a team fight or flay one guy. Like it was actually max range, hooks onto Fnatic, get the kill here. Really impressive stuff. And on Fnatic's side, the Alistar pick didn't really pay off. They did get the first blood, where it was Soaz and Cyanide coming into the mid lane, killing Overpower. But otherwise, the Alistar did nothing in the game. Cyanide and Jarvan had no impact at all. Every single team fight he would go in and be forced to just flash away and run. Like every single team fight. So Rekkles and Xpeke were kind of left in the backline alone. And we also have to highlight the fact that Syndra is a very hard mid laner to play in team fights because, again, you are very immobile and you kind of want to land your stun as a potential engage. And it was what happened to Xpeke when he got hooked. Ended up dying at the dragon, gave the first goal lead to Roccat here. So full credit to Roccat. They played it fantastic. Good wards. Good decision-making and deserve to win.
Well, the underdogs 1-0 up in the best